Oh my god. I did it. I actually did it. I finished the list. I actually finished one of these videos. Ah!
Number 5. Otaku, Love is Hard for Otaku. Now there's a title that immediately drew me in. Being an over 30 single man who loves anime and collects memorabilia, I relate to that so much. Otaku is about 4 people working together in office jobs. Narumi, a yaoi idol and game fan. Hirotaka, a tall, mostly reserved gamer. Hanako, a secret famous cosplayer who mostly dresses as men. And Taro, who is the less intense otaku of the bunch. Yes, just 4 otaku doing the boring, busy work of desk jobs, all while trying to keep their otaku lifestyle under control, while dealing with the trials of dating and... Wait, dating? Hold on, what? So Narumi and Hirotaka start dating at the end of episode 1, and it's revealed Hanako and Taro have been dating since high school? And the award for the most misleading title in all anime history goes to... Seriously, what the heck? What is hard about this? They were all dating and big dorky otakus? How is this relatable to my pathetically lonesome self? Okay, so clickbait title aside, why did the show end up at number 5 in this list? Well, several reasons for this, but first, the most personal reason. So the main focus is on a short, cute Fujoshi and idol otaku girl who is dating a tall, glasses-wearing, quiet gamer dude. I literally know a couple from my anime watching group that are both literally all those things. I could not help but watch the show following these two and just laugh at all the times I'm like, yeah, this is what it's like for them, isn't it?
You lucky son of a bitch.
The other point to bring up on why it deserves to be high on this list is, well, the exact same thing every other famous anime reviewer on YouTube has already stated. It's one of the few anime out there that's not focusing on children or high school students, it's focusing on adults. And not just any adults, but adults dealing with being more socially awkward for the hobbies and interests they have. Love is Hard for Otaku's more accurate title would be Life is Hard for Otaku. And the stories focus on everything otaku can relate to, such as hiding your session from your coworkers who might not understand, to the struggles of dating other otaku that isn't into the exact same things. The funniest thing the show brought up was something my friend from the couple I mentioned earlier also says she has this struggle with. The idea of a real date. Since every time she and her boyfriend ever hang out it's doing otaku things like playing games, watching movies, etc., what exactly would a normal date be with the one you spend every day with anyway? Love is Hard for Otaku is a refreshing anime because it talks about adults learning how to adjust to an adult world, and adults dating without the long story of how boy meets girl, boy and girl struggle with falling in love, boy and girl finally after a whole season confess to one another. You know, the usual. Instead, we start after the dating has started and what it's like, but instead of kids, the protagonists are adults. Mother Spaceman does a very detailed video on the topic and explains it better than I ever could, so definitely check that video out. Yeah, I know I'm passing the buck here, but I've been working on writing for 9 other shows. Cut me some slack. Writing is hard for otaku. Number 4. Dragon Pilot Hisane Tomasatan. This show first premiered in the spring season, though most missed it since Netflix bought it and delayed releasing the full season until near the tail end of summer, instead of, simulcasting it as it premiered in Japan like every other streaming service does, like you literally did with Violet Evergarden, even though you decided to only do it for Canada for some strange reason. Sorry, I'm still a bit bitter about that. Dragon Pilots follows the story of Hisane Amakasu, a rookie at the airbase, who has been tasked to deliver the papers to the flight leader. In searching, she comes across a dragon who eats her. No. He actually spits her back out. See? She's fine. Totally fine. She's fine. Totally fine. She's fine. She's then explained to that she came across an OTF, dragons used at the airbase hidden in plain sight as fighter jets, that are controlled by pilots who are swallowed by said OTFs and control them inside their bellies. Their mission in time will be to help guide the giant dragon from one nesting spot to another. Okay, so bizarre premise aside, this show is just too darn cute and funny. Hisane herself is a fun character to watch because she has a problem with keeping her thoughts to herself at times, despite wanting to get along with other people. She meets other OTF pilots who are all also women. First is Nao Kazuki, who is just the cutest, angriest little cinnamon roll I've ever seen. She's always in someone's face with a stern look, trying to pick fights and being just a little turd. And I love her to death. Later we meet others. Idru, the stubborn, strong-willed, don't need no man until I suddenly fall for the biggest douchebag in the whole base character. Yeah, I don't like her that much. There's also Mayumi, an overly motherly and caring woman who doesn't seem to understand the no space rule. And then there's Ririko.
ここで漏らしてしまったらそれこそ生きていけないので。では、
And that's all you need to know about her. Isn't she great? And last but certainly not least is the other character to share its name in the title, Masotan. Or as our main girl likes to say it, Masotan is... well, he's basically toothless. I know that's oversimplifying it, but Masotan is just a cute, lovable, dark-colored dragon that is far more cute than ferocious. The bond that he and Hisane form over the show is so adorable and sweet. Now here's the kicker in all this. When finishing the show, as cute, funny, emotional, and overall great it ended up being, I did have it lower on the list when I first made it. Might have forgotten it and not put it on here, honestly. So what brought it up to this high on the list? Well, I asked a friend of mine to check it out. A friend who at times me and her have very different thoughts on anime, and we butt heads sometimes for it. She came to me after finishing it and I reluctantly asked her how she took it. Well, there was a lot of sexist crap in this. Oh lord, how did she get that out of... And they did an amazing job of detailing all the things women in the workforce deal with every day, especially in Japan. Wait, what? Then she started to explain it to me.
A few moments later.
Oh my god, she's right! I feel so blind for not seeing all the signs, but yes, 100% the show dealt with all the sexist crap women deal with in the workforce today. The ridiculous tight-fitting suits they were made to wear in order to pilot OTFs. One of the biggest points in this is the idea that OTF fighters are not allowed to fall in love because the feelings of being in love can cause chemical reactions that turn the dragon's stomach sour and causing them to be unable to control them. This is a direct relation to the idea that women have to choose between a successful career or a loving relationship, as if the two cannot possibly coexist. There was an article that was sent to me by this friend that talked all about this, but has since forwarded. I do have another article that seems to be talking about the same things, which I'll link below. Overall, that may only be a small part of the series and obviously subtle since I didn't catch it the first time, but the fact that this show had something more like that just shot my opinion up for this show, and it made me appreciate it even more. Number 3. Laidback Camp. Back in July of 2017, I did a review of Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, saying for those who want a show that's simple and laid back, you could find no better show. Who would have guessed that the very next year I could be proven so wrong? Laidback Camp is the nirvana of cozy, simplistic anime. I already talked about this anime in a review I did, which you may or may not have seen, thanks to various copyright claim issues forcing me to change where the video is being kept, so for slightly more detailed analysis you can check the link below or in the iCard. Also, a million apologies for the jump scare I put in that review. Not for the jump scare itself, but the fact that I misguessed how loud the audio would be in that part, making it far more jarring and annoying than I meant it to be. Lately, I've become aware of another term in anime watching known as Iyashike, which is a subgenre of slice-of-life anime that have a healing effect. The pleasant setting, the warm and cozy atmosphere, the tranquil soundtrack, the absence of any conflict or struggle. Now, I can understand if some of you out there disagree with me putting this so high on the list, but it is my list for what affected me most positively or emotionally in the year, and Laidback Camp hit that chill vibe better than any other slice-of-life show I saw that year, and possibly in all slice-of-life anime I've ever watched. I can't really say much more about the anime, so let me just pad out the time a little bit and complain to Crunchyroll and ask them why the heck was Laidback Camp not put in the best character design category in your anime awards? I mean, look at these outfits, look how stylish these girls can get. You can't tell me. Hey, turn off my mic. Number 2. Violet Evergarden. Kyoto Animation being one of the oldest animation studios in Japan, they have had many years in perfecting their animations. It's something I for a long time took for granted even in shows I really liked, such as Lucky Star, K-On!, Nichijou, and Clannad. Violet Evergarden, however, brings us something I rarely see, a show in which both the visuals and the story itself were absolutely breathtaking. In fact, to my surprise, there were a lot of computer-implemented techniques to pull off the look of the show. Far more than I suspected, and the fact that they could keep it looking so much like traditional animation in the process is astounding. The story of the making of Violet Evergarden is astounding as well, and is explained in a video on Under the Scope's channel, which you can see in the description or in the iCard in the corner. The story follows our main character of the same name, recently reintegrating into society after the war by becoming an auto-memory doll, which is this world's sort of ghostwriters for other people. A task that becomes difficult for Violet. But oddly, it's not because she has lost both arms in the war. She actually has stunning replacements for that. No, it's the fact that emotions are not something Violet comprehends or can even understand. She always has this stoic look on her face and speaks frankly and factually, usually striking others as rude or embarrassing. It is almost like she's a real-life doll, pretty on the outside but empty of feeling inside. The reason such a person as Violet became an auto-memory doll was to learn the meaning behind the 3 words last left to her by Gilbert, a commanding officer now missing after the last battle she was in. The structure of Violet Evergarden has most episodes focusing on her and her client of the day, where she meets them, writes for them, and some emotional payoff occurs. But my word, the emotion of some of these episodes were so poetically poignant. The ones that got me especially were episodes 7, 10, and 11, with the latter being one of the most striking, with Violet's reaction to being thanked for delivering a letter to the family of a fallen soldier.
ありがとう。息子を返してくれ。ありがとう。いいえ、守ってあげられなくてごめんなさい。
Violet Evergarden's biggest strength is tackling the topic of emotion in general. Emotions are never straightforward or easily defined. They are complex, subtle, and not always stated straightforward. Violet Evergarden is a show that explores that not only visually but in the writing and storytelling as well. Violet Evergarden is so good that it's hard to put into words. So all I can say is, go watch it on Netflix and see for yourself. And Cole's favorite anime of 2018 is... A Place Further Than the Universe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? Another slice of life moe show? That is your choice for best anime of the year? And if that is your reaction, then number 1, hi! Welcome to my channel for the very first time. And 2, this is not your typical cute girls doing cute things. For heaven's sakes, this was on New York Times list for the top international show of the year, making it at number 8. The premise sounds pretty simple at first. 4 girls from Japan decide to work their way into going to an expedition to Antarctica. I mean, even I, reading that description, was thinking to myself, well, this might be cute at least. What I wasn't expecting, however, was such a beautifully built story of friendship, perseverance, and closure. Cute girls doing cute things is far too belittling of a way to describe the show. It's more like 4 amazing young ladies find each other and themselves in a journey for answers to a place where a loved one was tragically lost, all while forming the strongest of bonds and experiencing exponential character growth and self-discovery. Gosh dang it, even that is underselling the show. The story follows Mari Tamaki, a girl who feels something missing in her life not lived to its fullest when she meets Shirashi Kobachizawa after returning her lost 1 million yen. Shirashi is the daughter of an Antarctica observation crew member who was lost in her last expedition. Shirashi had earned the money over a long time in hopes of being able to pay her way into an expedition to Antarctica in hopes of finding her lost mother. Inspired by this, Mari joins her in her pursuit along with 2 others, Yuzuki Shirashi, a young actor chosen to go to do online streams on the trip, and Hinata Miyaki. Hinata is an absolute treasure, a true goddess in human form. Sporty, attractive, bright, friendly, positive, and just downright the best girl in anime of 2018, hands down. I am truly in love.
はい、高校生ですよ。言っときますけど犯罪ですからね。もう一度言います。犯罪ですからね。年は分かってる?
Oh, son of a bitch! Place Further Than the Universe stood out for being one of the strongest friendships in anime I've ever seen. Some moments hitting closer to home than others, like the scene with Yuzuki in her room thinking of the hug she got from the day before. As she remembers it, she grabs the pillow tightly and squirms. Guys, that was me every time I went to PAX South and got hugs from all the people I met. I know that feeling, the strong overflowing of emotion of realizing you've made friends, real and strong friendships. Remembering the warm embraces and cherishing them is what kept me going. Seeing that on display in this show floored me. Another example of just how strong these girls' bonds became is seen in one episode after a lost passport is preventing Hinata from being able to travel with the other girls at the same time for their trip. Shirase tried to convince the airport to trade their tickets for a later flight, and when they refused, she slammed down on the counter the million yen she had collected. She was actually willing to trade all that money she worked so hard for simply because she wanted Hinata with them. She wanted every one of them to travel together no matter what.
気にするなって言われて気にしないバカにはなりたくない。先に行けって言われて先に行く白状にはなりたくない。4人で行くの。この4人で。それが最優先だから。
She was willing to sacrifice all that for a girl she only knew for less than a month. Really let that sink in. And just so you know, this is not even the greatest moment of Shirase standing up for Hinata in this entire show. Nearly every episode ended on some of the most powerful and moving moments ever, ranging from tragedy to triumph. But out of all the moments in the show, the one that catapulted this into the top of the list, the 1 second that hit me harder than everything else, was this moment here. Play it again. Play it one more time. That single, solitary second is the most powerful and talented bit of voice acting I have ever seen put to anything in media. I've heard and seen great crime scenes in my life, but I have never heard anyone so perfectly express something more than just sadness. That was frustration. That was shock. That was the voice of someone saying quite possibly that something they have been doing for years and years on end may have all been fruitless, but at the same time that moment was something else. Closure. A Place Further Than the Universe struck me harder than any anime show in years. It stuck with me, and as close as many anime came this year to being just as good, this show was still further than any of them could ever reach. The girls of A Place Further Than the Universe are more than just alright. And that was my favorite anime of 2018. What did you think? Agree or disagree with the list? Tell me in the comments what your favorite anime of last year were. Like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more animation-based reviews on this channel. Also look forward to an announcement at the end of the month for more info about that. For now, I really got to figure out the memory issues with my computer so these videos don't take so long and get delayed anymore. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay animated.